Gather us in the lost and forsaken. Gather us in the blind and the lame.
All right, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another exciting edition of the Per Farmer Cigar Garage Talks. We're in the garage because the sun is quickly setting outside, and I was a little nervous that we'd have to turn on the light, and then every bug known to man would find where we were sitting. We might have to take a pause not to put the kids to bed, because where are the kids, honey?
Camp.
At camp.
Well, most of them.
Yeah, most of them. But we may have to turn it off to shut the garage doors when we get inundated with flies. Time will tell. But what are we smoking? What are we drinking? Why don't you start with yours? Yours is easier.
Oh, this one's pretty simple. Pepsi.
And? Because your other drink is actually in frame.
Oh, is it? Green tea.
Green tea. Very good. For me tonight, you're smoking anything?
Of course not.
Of course not. I have, and this has nothing to do with the topic for tonight, the Dumpster Fire by the Warfighters. I think it's Warfighter. You have the light there. Yeah, Warfighter Tobacco, fun veteran-owned tobacco company. Their cigars, actually their premium ones, I have not been enjoying. But I've actually had one of the Dumpster Fires before. And I actually like it. It's an economy stick.
So you like the cheap cigars?
Of theirs. It's not that I dislike their ones. It's just, I don't know, this one just tickles something in my fancy that I do like. So I was glad to see I could get it. And then we have Boom Boom Betty Blonde Ale.
That's just weird.
That is weird. So Blonde Ale, I don't know what the company was. I didn't even look. Surprisingly Smart Ale. I thought it said ass at first. It's the Three Blonders Brewing out of somewhere in Michigan. South Haven, Michigan. Good on ya. I hope one of them is an elderly lady, since that's on the picture. Whoa, stop. What's
Maybe
this?
it's somebody's grandma.
I've got some floaters in my beer. This is kind of weird. I really hope.
I'm not sure if I hope that was in your glass first, or if I hope that was in the beer.
I'm gonna hope that was in my glass. Not a bad little ale. All right, honey, you're the one who came up with the topic. You're the one that wanted to record the video. What are we talking about tonight?
I didn't come up with the topic. What do you mean I came up with the topic?
You said you wanted to come out to the garage. You're gonna shoot a video with me. You got a topic in mind. What's your topic?
You had the topic in mind.
No. Come on now. What is it? This is all your idea from start to finish.
All right, now that's not fair. I did ask first. I didn't just jump into it.
You didn't just ask, but go ahead. What is it? What are we talking about tonight?
We are talking about exchange students.
Exchange students. So what's the big news? We got actually the news just hours before and hours after. Well, it was hours after you said let's shoot a video, and then hours before we shot this, something came in.
Oh, we got the welcome packet.
The welcome packet. Officially, the Per Farmer Homestead is going to be accepting a exchange student. I don't know. Can we say his name? Probably. He doesn't know. Maybe we should get a. So here's the deal. This video is going to be well delayed. We're shooting this.
We can't shoot this or send this out until probably October.
September, October. This one's going out. He has not arrived yet. This is still very much summer. We're in July when we got the news. But we've been kind of having fun with these like remembers videos and the pre-videos, like before things really kicked off videos. So we kind of wanted to record one, but we kind of want to keep this as a surprise to our family because, in my opinion, this is kind of crazy town what we're doing. Our exchange friend is from Brazil. We'll probably actually have to get him a gamer name.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come up with one. Well, he likes No Way Home, so maybe Spider-Man.
No Way Home, huh? We call him Miles. I like that Spider-Man better than No Way Home. Miles Morales.
Tom Holland is better.
Okay, we'll call him Tom. Let's just call him Tom for right now. We'll call him Tom.
That's going to be hard for me to remember.
We'll ask him. I'll explain this whole video process a month or two in, and what we do and even interview them, because might as well.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's part of the family. So Tom, which the name will change, I'm sure he'll pick some sort of gamer handle, because our family is kind of big into gaming, so we all got him. So yes, we decided to accept a exchange student. So I'm going to let you go from your point of view first. How did this start? Where did it come from? And
Okay, so as a homeschoolers, of course, we're part of some homeschooler Facebook groups, and we have, of course, some homeschool friends. And one of our homeschool friends shared with the group, what would you call those, introductions?
cry for help.
Yeah, cry for help, introductions. So what they did was they have some students who are still looking for homes and families that will take them in. And so she shared some of them. And the first one that I read, actually, I like instantaneous. I read it and I was like, wow, he's one of ours. Like, he belongs in our family. And I don't feel that about many people because honestly, I don't really care for most people. But I read it and I'm like, he's one of ours. Like, he belongs here. He belongs in our family. And so I actually stopped reading, like about halfway through reading his introduction and just a
Bio,
little.
maybe? You can call it bio more than introduction.
Yeah, bio. I stopped about halfway through reading it, and I looked at the kids. I'm like, guys, you've got to listen to this. And I started reading it out loud. And I wish I could have recorded the kids' faces, because I don't know if you saw their faces as I was reading
I
it.
wasn't around. Let's be very clear about this.
I thought you were in the kitchen when I was reading
No,
it.
I was
sure
at
you were in the
work. No,
kitchen.
because everyone that day, you read it at breakfast while I was at work. And work, of course, I work from home, but still, Dad's at work. So I'm not to be disturbed. But slowly, like, each child is talking about David, or Tom.
He's gonna have like 6
Talking,
names
he's
in
got a
this
bunch of
video.
names. He's talking about Tom, and oh my God, you gotta come hear about Tom Hollins. And I'm like, what are you all talking about? Like, I am confused. I have no idea what they're talking about. I think the first one to come down was Swedish Compass, and she thought I knew, so she was all like,
Well, she fell in love with the bio. Like, so this is how like completely like matched this kid seemed. I was reading it out loud. Remember, I hadn't finished the bio. I had only read half of it, and I was like, guys, I got to read this to you. So I started reading the whole thing, and then like about a quarter of the way through, I stopped to explain what an exchange student was, and then I continued reading. And the lights on all the kids' faces were hilarious because they all had the same, like, eyes wide open, oh my gosh, he's one of us. Like, he belongs here. He should be part of our family. And so I was like, well, that'd be kind of cool, but I actually, like, as much as, like, I felt like he should be here and he's going to fit in and be a perfect match for our family, I was like, yeah, that'd be really cool. But I wasn't going to, like, push it on any of them because this is a huge thing. I mean, having somebody live with us that we don't know from a different country for 10 months while he goes to public school here is a huge thing.
that's a big commitment.
So, but I read it and it was almost like the kids made the decision like that. Like instantaneous. They were automatically like, yes, he's one of us. He needs to come here. And it was funny because it was the same reaction I had. So it was kind of like, wow, like it's not just me, all the kids.
So meanwhile, it's presented to me by children first, who I don't really get what they're talking about this Tom and how great he is. He likes, Spider-Man. He loves Marvel. He's
Star Wars.
He's a huge Star Wars fan.
His goal is to have a lightsaber.
Lightsaber. That's the only thing he wants to do is he wants to get a lightsaber. So good luck with that. Maybe we'll turn one on the lathe for him. Make him make 6 or 7 here in the workshop. So anyway, I'm trying to figure this out, and so I go to the homeschooling mom. I'm like, what in the actual hell is everyone talking about? And she reads me the bio. She talks about this, and I say, okay, well, I have questions. I have reservations. But usually with this type of thing, you can kind of just get the process started, get your feet wet, learn how. Because meanwhile, and Tom, or future gamer handle, if you do watch this in the future, which you might, here's what's going on in the world today. 9% inflation, global pandemic, global war about to break out, food shortage, scarcity shortage. My job, when I first was told, was not as secure as it is now, but I have been given some indicators since then that my job is probably more secure than I gave it credit for. But when this first came in, like, I was looking at the end of July, I was done. I have gotten some indicators that my job will be extended. So, yeah, nothing against you, buddy. I'm sure you'll be a perfect fit, and it'll be great times, fun had by all. But I'm the well, we both have the moments of being the practical one, but in this situation, I was the practical one. So I thought the process was going to be this nice, slow, learn, long application process, interviews and home inspections. And how long did the whole process take?
10 days?
How about when we signed the paperwork?
All right. So,
5 days.
Okay,
It
so
was
I blame you
5.
for some of this. So we were talking
5.
about it, and I was messaging to the local coordinator, asking her a ton of questions, because this is a huge commitment for a family, for anybody, but for a family our size, this is a gigantic commitment.
Because what does this mean? We're having a ninth family member, a seventh child. What does this mean?
Because we're gonna have to take two cars.
2 cars.
To any place where we all go. So this is kind of like, this isn't a small decision. This was a big choice.
And is he a scrawny, stoutly lad who's
Okay,
not...
now that's not fair. I didn't know how big he was.
How big is he, honey?
So our student will be 6'2"
And
and 200 and some pounds.
210.
So he's gonna be about the size of you, Performer. I admit he's a big, tall person.
You know, we're going to
Anyway.
be buying football gear and hockey gear.
Anyhow, moving on.
Moving on.
So
Not football like that damn soccer, the American shit.
anyhow, I wonder if he even likes soccer.
He's from Brazil. Yeah, he likes soccer.
Maybe. Anyway.
Honey,
So
I-
anyhow.
okay.
Moving on. So I was asking questions and stuff, and at some point I must have mentioned the specific student that I was like interested in, or like felt like kind of called to offer home to, because from that point on, it like the local coordinator was all in, like, just go in and fill out your background check.
Uh-huh. Yeah, just do the background check.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, So before I did the background check, I talked to you, Performer, and I'm like, well, I really don't know, but I think this is going to be probably a 2 to 3 week process, and we can say no all the way up until like the end. Like, we can change our mind at any point in time, which is true. But the 2 to 3 to 4 week process that we thought it was going to be was a little bit faster. So I filled out the first page of the application, which wasn't terribly intimidating. It was basic questions about us, our family, our ages, stuff like that. I filled all that out. And then the second page of the application was a little more information, a little more complicated, but still basic stuff about our home and our lifestyle. And then the background check. So I filled out the background check for me, and then I went back in and I filled it out for you, Performer. And I stopped the application because that was what, like, there was no point in doing more right then and there, because it was going to be a bit of a process. And you have to take pictures of the inside of your house, like the different spaces. Like, it's got some very specific spaces it wants pictures
Which
of.
apparently one did have a toilet, sink, and shower, so you were worried about that.
Apparently that photo had it. So, like, you have to take specific pictures. So that was going to take me some time. And I have 6 kids, so my house is clean but not spotless, like, almost ever. So I wasn't going to take a picture of, like, Play-Doh on the table. So I did have to, like, clean up the Play-Doh before I could take that picture and stuff like that. So it was a bit of a process for the rest of the application. But, I was working on it the second day after I did our things. And all of a sudden, my friend, who's the one that actually posted this in the group, messages me and tells me, Tom's been accepted into the group. And there's a super secret Facebook group for the host families. And he was accepted into it. And I was like, oh, does that mean somebody else?
Wait, someone else
is gonna
take him?
host
Thank
him?
God, please, maybe.
And I'm like, does that mean somebody else is going to host him in the group? Because I'm equally disappointed and happy because I really wanted this student to be able to come to the States. But I really did feel
Now,
like
to be
he's
fair, it
gonna-
is because he was the perfect match for our family. Like,
Yes.
you could see him as one of our children.
easily,
Like,
yes.
Easily.
So I really wanted him to have this opportunity, and he had already lost this opportunity once because his original host family, who was taking him in, had some kind of accident. And
Did
or
the father
something.
die, or did he just get injured grievously?
I think they got injured somehow,
Okay.
but they were having mobility problems and
Yeah.
didn't feel like they could take him in. So he had been placed and then lost his placement.
Mm-hmm.
So I really did, like, I wanted to see this work out for him. So I was like, oh, great, what does that mean? and so I was told, well, that means he's attached to your file.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm searching and I don't see him attached to my file that I've been working on for these days at all. But it means that we passed our background check, which really, that was no
Not
surprise.
surprised. I was surprised yours passed quicker than mine just because of the issues we talked about with the coordinator.
But I've had a lot
You've had a lot
then.
since then. You have. The first background check we ever did took forever.
Yes.
But yes, we have had quite a bit. And I get one every quarter.
I was born out of this country on a military installation, so sometimes my background checks
Get flagged.
get flagged. They take a little bit. But in recent years, that really hasn't been a problem. So our background checks must have come back, but we didn't know it, and we didn't see his file. So I was like, okay, well, we still have time. Like, he's not connected to us yet, and I don't know what's going on. But I finished the application. I took the pictures of the different spaces in the house. If you ever decide to host, you need, like your kitchen, your dining room, your bathroom that the student will use,
Yeah.
the student's bedrooms, everything like that. So I took all those pictures, I put them in our file, and what else did I have to do? We had to sign the host agreement, but I did not put that in our file because I was like, well, I
You
don't...
have to. She uploaded the damn thing.
I know, right? So I didn't have the host agreement or anything done because I didn't know the student's last name. I didn't know any of his information. So I was like, okay, can't do that one. So I finished the rest of it, and then we waited. And I thought, okay, this is probably going to take about 2 weeks. His file isn't connected to ours yet, so I can't find him, so I can't learn anything else about him. So it must not, like, there must be something they don't like about us, I guess.
Well, I'm jumping in here with the home inspection. So my hope was we'd fail the home inspection. And the reason is, now granted, we had the kids scour the house.
That's
But
not fair. I did too.
You did too. You put in tons of hours. I put in tons of hours. We're fixing stuff. And we're doing this home inspection. I was like, well, here it is. Because to me, and we had a discussion about this beforehand, but still to me, the exchange program is a very liberal, Democrat-based program. Like, letting someone basically come live free in your house, rent-free from a, far-flung, place we're not getting paid for. We don't get any real, like, benefits besides the cultural exchange, which I'm all about. I mean, we do, learning or living learning or whatever they call that. It's the experiential learning. That's the word. Experiential learning, which, oh my God, talk about a better experience than having someone from a foreign country, like, explain to the kids how, like, oh, you can flush your toilets? How weird. Like, mom and dad can say it, but having someone who actually lives that life, I am all about experiential learning. But we have guns. We have rabbit hides hanging up. We have trapping equipment. We have fishing stuff. We have bug out stuff. We have...
All right, now most of that stuff is out in the garage, though.
Which I thought was going to be inspected.
But that's not the living space.
That's
I
not
was
the
told
living,
very specifically
it's
that
very
it's not
living
the
space.
living space.
And I'm not going to say I tried to sabotage it, but I wanted to be honest with the lady because I'd hate for him to come here and then find out, oh wait, they are gun owners and they are preppers. We live on kind of a quote unquote farm and we run a family business. I know sometimes that can be a real big red flag because they don't want these students to basically come over and be indentured servants. Not that we'd ever do that, of course, but I do know from the little research I did that that has happened where like they come and they are, because their work ethic is a lot stronger than a lot of you, not our kids, but a lot of U.S. families, it's a lot stronger. Like, you know, I bet you if you told Tom to go weed the garden, it would not look like our daughters have weeded the garden. Like, from what I've heard, from what I understand, especially from South American and Central American countries.
Well, and as a host student who wants to, you know, they're very thankful for the opportunity.
Yeah, especially from these regions. I mean, they know it's, I don't want to say they know it's a privilege, but
they know they're blessed. They
yeah,
know that
they know this is a great opportunity, which, I mean, we would never, like, make him an indentured servant, but I know those are red flags. I'm like, you know what? I don't want this to come out, like, a month into him being here, and then trouble comes, so I wanted to be very honest, and I was extremely honest with her. I was like, look, here's the deal. We hunt, we fish, we trap, we love guns, we love shooting straight. We run a family business that's based on farm stuff where we do homesteading, you know, stuff. And the lady just chewed it all up. Except for, she said, the only thing he can't do is fire a firearm.
Or ride a four-wheeler, which doesn't apply to us because it's not like we have one.
We don't have one. We're not that rich. Probably couldn't afford the tires right now. But yeah, he can't ride a four-wheeler, can't fire a gun, because if he got injured while firing a gun, his insurance would basically kick him out, not pay it, and there's a good chance he could be deported if he fires a firearm based on his visa. Okay, fine. Well, we don't, you know, I'm discouraged by that because that is part of our family, is shooting guns.
But he can go hunting, he just can't
He can go
shoot.
hunting, but now we're looking into, you know, can he shoot a bow? Can he shoot an air rifle? Because we do have some very powerful air rifles that we can.
Well, we have the crossbow.
We have the crossbow. We have some recurves and compounds, and we might have to shut the garage doors here real soon. There's a big old moth that just flew in.
Moths don't bite.
And this is true. So there was that. There was very much I want to be honest with you. We do trapping, which I don't know Brazilian culture, what they think about harvesting animals for fur.
I don't know. We'd have to look at it.
Yeah, that's something he's going to teach me when he gets here, apparently. Oh, and a lawnmower. Can he ride a lawnmower?
Yes, can he ride the lawnmower because we have a riding mower. Or can he, like, do airsoft or paintball?
Yep.
But none of that was a red flag. Like, she didn't... Like,
Didn't even bat an eye. Didn't even bat an eye. She kept saying that she wants us to change nothing of how we do stuff, our culture, our home culture, because that's the whole point of the program. I was more than willing to show her the garage, which is and was a disaster. It's that's what happens when you do projects and spring cleaning in this house. Stuff accumulates. But nope, she approved us. She sat down, and again, I wanted her to do the inspection and then us to have like a day or two to talk about it, because she was going to answer just every question we had, and
And she did a good job with
She
that.
did great. I mean, the kids were asking bizarro questions.
And some of them were really good.
Some of them were great. Some of them were like Swedish Compass and Vashman asked, like, can we have a work buddy? Can he come and like work at McDonald's with us? Because they're both applying for jobs, and they thought it'd be really cool if the three of them could get a job. We found 100% no. Any job that requires a social security number, no, because we run a family business and the kids don't get paid. That sounds so horrible saying that. They get, you know, the proceeds go to stuff for them, but they don't get an hourly paycheck. She said, no, she loved the idea. She was actually like, oh my God, when do you go to farmers markets? Which ones do you go to? I'll show up to one. I'm like, oh my God.
You know, she said that anything our kids do that he should do. And that, so if they run a booth at the farmer's market, that'd be an excellent experience for him to actually meet a ton of people and learn to communicate with a huge variety of people, which is one of the reasons why we have the kids do it. It's a great experience,
so they can get the experience
to socialize, and you're socializing with people everywhere from, you know, the little baby in the stroller with mom standing there to, you know, we actually have a host of like 70, 80-year-olds that come to our booth. That
And
just
not to
chat.
mention just the tourist alone that he'll be interacting with. I mean, we have people from Florida to Texas to California to, oh hell, we had one international lady. What was she? Oh, she was a U.S. citizen. The Jewish lady.
I don't know.
Yeah, the one who taught the kids how to dance.
Oh yeah, yeah. She actually lives here.
She does live here. That's right. I thought she was. I thought it was a foreigner who kind of tracked us down, but she does live here. Not from here, obviously. Very clearly not.
Yeah.
I mean, she's probably got a green card. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying that this is a really good cigar. I love these dumpster fires. They're so cheap. Sorry, I digress. But it is stuff like, can I have him in these videos? Which was a yes. That you can. As long as he's cool with it, I can't sit down here and force him to shoot a video. And spoiler alert, Tom, I'm gonna wait like 2 months so we can actually like bust that language barrier and make sure you know what this is. It's because I don't want you to like do it and then all of a sudden like 2 months in you're like, oh, I don't like that at all.
Right.
I changed my mind.
I'm kind of uncomfortable with this idea now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, long story short, we thought this was going to be like a 3 to 4 week process. That ended up being
We were done in under a week.
no, because I filled out the application on a Wednesday night,
Okay,
and
it
the
could have
next
been.
Wednesday,
She was willing to come on Monday. She was willing to come on Sunday.
the next
if
Wednesday
need be.
we had our interview, our
Yeah,
home visit,
Our home visit.
where she asked a bunch of questions, answered a bunch of our questions, and that's where we signed the paperwork. Which it was kind of like, okay, I thought we were gonna like sit down and talk about this, get all our questions answered, and then maybe finish that paperwork later.
Well, and I'm not accusing her of anything because she's a wonderful lady, and I think she cares so much about this program. It's just heartbreaking. Like it's awesome. It's just it's oh my god.
You can tell that she cares about each individual child.
Yeah, each
that she's
individual.
working
She
with.
is so committed to these children. She's a wonderful lady. But she does have the one ace in her sleeve as well. I can't just come back here on a whim. I actually have to take time off of work and drive down, and I can't just pop in at a moment's notice for you to sign this form. And with gas being $5 a gallon, if there's one thing that can tug at my heartstrings, is you say that, well, I don't want to, make a second trip if I don't have to. Damn it. She knew. She's good. She could read people. She knew that was the magic word to say that.
Whatever.
I don't want to make a second
So
trip.
we signed the paperwork, and we thought, okay, well, this is it then, I guess. We've signed the paperwork. But it was still up to the school to accept it. And the school was actually closed, or is closed, the office,
closed.
until the 31st of July. So they were closed from the 1st to the 31st. There's no way to get a touch. She's tried calling.
Now,
she tried doing stuff.
Tom,
Nothing
just to
happened.
let you know that I'm batting for you. I may have suggested because we interviewed on the
We interviewed
the
on
10th?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. I don't know what day that was. That would be
so today's
the
the
18th, so 13th.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, about the 13th. But it's supposed to be another, 15 to 20 days before the school was going to be open. So, again, Tom, you're going to learn this once you show up. I kind of, sort of, maybe was a bad influence, which any
But
of you
that's
guys...
not what she went with, though.
That's not what she went with. We found a better workaround, but I kind of, sort of, was a bad influence. Again, I've talked about this on these videos. My brain works differently, so I kind of gave her a solution to a problem that I didn't even know existed until that day. And she liked it so much. It's always amazing. I tell people these ideas, and they get this, that's not how things work. Oh, but that could work. That could...
Anyway,
That could totally work.
He suggested that she enroll the student in a separate.
Don't tell this is
Okay. Anyway.
trade secrets here. I don't
All
want.
right, so
I don't want
moving
to say
on.
that because if she does ever use it, I don't want it to be out in the public that.
Okay.
It
So
was a thing.
anyway, I suggested she contact the elementary school office, which I thought might be open this month, but the rest of the offices were closed. But I figured if nothing else, they might have somebody who could reach
Well,
out.
and they definitely would have someone who understands the gravity of applying for a visa because that's
Yes.
not a. Well, I didn't think that was a turnkey process. Cause,
Well, he already had the visa. He had to get the paperwork to be able to fly here first.
oh, but that's the visa. Because once you're
No.
the visa, you can fly.
He had his student visa. He had to get the next
Oh, okay.
next paperwork. So anyway,
Oh, see, she lied to me. She made me think it was a visa. Like when I went to Ireland, that took a month
oh no
for
no
me
no
to get
no.
a visa to go to Ireland with Special Olympics.
No, he had a student visa, but that student
Oh, they
visa is not.
lied.
No, it wasn't valid until he had.
Until you had it. I get it. I get it. I'm just saying. Okay.
So so exchange students get their visa, but their visa isn't valid without that paper. So he had to get the paper that said that the school would accept him.
I
And
didn't know this.
with the school being closed,
Oh,
I thought you understood that
lied
when she
to-
was here. She didn't lie to you. She was
She told me what I wanted to hear.
no,
Wasn't a lie,
it
but-
wasn't. I understood what she meant. Anyway,
Okay.
moving on.
My brain works differently. I don't catch the obvious. I go for the obscure.
So his student visa is invalid unless he gets accepted into the school here, which if it's closed, he can't get accepted until August 1st,
yeah.
and school starts August 29th, and he still does have some paperwork he has to finish on his end before he could finalize it, which includes his flight, and apparently it's the flight that takes a while to get.
Which I can see.
So
We have no knowledge on that right at this point.
No, not that I know of. I haven't looked at the file again, but no. So until he gets this paperwork, he can't move forward with finding a flight or anything. So I suggested she contact the elementary school office, which she did, and she called me the next day, and she was so excited because the office said, well, we think the principal is coming in tomorrow. If not, we will fax the paperwork to the principal to sign and send back to you. So she took the paperwork to the office here at the school, and the next day, which was Friday, the principal actually did come in and signed it right
Signed
away.
it off, yeah.
And it wasn't just our student who was waiting; there was another student. So
From Germany.
no, the other student is here, and I think it's another Brazilian.
I thought there was a German one here.
No,
No, the German one is your friend. Your
yeah,
friend
the
has,
German one's
okay.
my friend, a couple cities away.
Yeah.
So he got his paperwork, got it signed on Friday, and so we knew that it was signed on Friday, but we were told that this next part of the process, they're going to review our entire file, and this
Fine-tooth
is
comb.
where it's going to take a while, because like if I didn't take pictures of the right space, or like
They
some
didn't
of it
show
is
the right thing.
yeah, if I didn't show at least 2 appliances in the kitchen per se, like I'd have to retake those photos. Or if I didn't have both beds or the right angle, or show the study space for the student, I'd have to retake pictures. If I didn't have all the different pieces of the bathroom, like the shower, the sink, the toilet. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to retake some pictures
Right.
because I didn't think I got it all. But apparently, because I didn't know I needed to get it all.
Yeah.
But apparently, between the pictures I took and my explanations, because I did provide a written explanation for each picture.
Which was hilarious. So I gotta throw this in because it just tickles me. We have to give a monthly progress report, which cannot just be yes, no, yes, no, yes, no on these questions. It has to be at least a paragraph. I'm like, dear God, this poor woman's gonna get a freaking book every month. No criticism on you. I just know, like, there was a friend of ours asked us to do a reference check, and you sent yours in for his reference check, and I guess the adjudicator was like, who needs more? Like it was like 5 pages long of these questions we had to answer. He's like, yeah, that was the person who asked for the reference check was like, that was the most in-depth like reference of someone's character we have ever read, and I've been doing this for 20 years. Like it was.
I'm detailed.
You're
okay?
detailed and long in the tooth. Let's just leave it that way.
Anyhow.
I'll be yes, no, yes, no.
Right. All right. So anyway, yeah. So we thought, okay, well, this welcome packet that we were supposed to get, we were told, okay, well, it might take a while because they're going to review everything in your file, and then you're probably going to have to fix something, or they're going to have to clarify things. And it probably is. I write a lot, so I wrote a description of every
Everything.
picture, which it asks for.
Mm-hmm.
And because I've worked in ESL so much, I did write very simplistic descriptions that were very basic directions or explanations, because some things do get lost in translation. I know we like to believe that doesn't happen, but it really does. So I wrote some pretty simplistic explanations of each picture and before sending it off. But we got our welcome packet this afternoon, and I feel bad because it was after we dropped the kids off.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know.
They don't know yet.
They don't
They're
know.
at camp.
But like I was so excited because this means we can email our
Mm-hmm.
student and we can start like connecting and getting to know him, which is important because he's leaving his whole family to come here, and he's going to be moving in with our family who he's never met. He doesn't know our culture. He has been studying our language for 5 years, and he has excellent marks. But that doesn't mean that he's going to understand us right away or understand everything that we say. So as much as we can, we want him to be comfortable with our family and with us. So this being able to email and message him is really important.
Yeah.
And now we can because everything's through the file. Now it's just a matter of him finishing his flight information. And I think he has a couple more things on his paperwork to do. But
Now, I don't know what's typically, it's 2 weeks before school starts, he usually shows up, or is it longer?
I was told 7 to 10 days is average,
Okay.
but depending on his family, it could be longer. So, like, it may be he comes.
So we might be here August 1st.
I don't think he'll be here before the 15th.
Okay.
But his birthday is at the end of August, so we're also trying to figure out how to celebrate that.
Oh, we got a plan, dude.
I think I like our plan. I think that's going to be awesome.
So what's the plan?
To get him a bunch of local attire.
Not just local attire. I mean, it's all going to be Yooper theme, but it's going to be like... So, I like to give something known as a housewarming gift. And it's dorky. It's funny for me. It's not so much for...
Though.
Huh? Well, Sakeley's, yeah.
I think that's going to be in a little welcome basket.
I think he's got to have a pasty on his birthday. That's just that's got to happen. So when I do a housewarming gift, I give people the window film to put on. I give people spray foam. I give them the heater, the hot water heater, blankets. Again, housewarming, how to stay warm in the UP, because that's a thing. So it's kind of like that. So we're going to give them,
I
probably...
think a nice chook.
Definitely a chook, a very good... The girls are all like, let's give him a floppy ear hat. I'm like, listen, this kid can't speak the language
but those
very
are
well.
nice, though.
They're nice. He probably will get one, but I think until the snow flies, a chook... I want to get him really nice choppers. Really...
Gloves, yeah.
Gloves
Gloves or mittens?
They're going to be mittens, and we're going to spend $1 or $2. I'm not going to tell how much they spend, because they're going to be nice.
I don't disagree. I want him to be comfortable here. And coming from Brazil, and it sounds like he's in a warm spot of Brazil. So he's going to be...
say the city, can't we? It's
I don't know that I can pronounce the city yet.
Oh, no?
It's Cuiada.
I thought it was one like São Paulo or
no,
one of the bigger ones.
He has a lot of family there, but no, Sao Paulo, but no, he's not from there. He's from a different city, and I'm not familiar with it. So, and then so yeah, we want to get him like a chook with the UP probably on it, or Michigan, and a shirt, a T-shirt that has our area or something.
Can we give him one with the UP that says yours at the bottom?
No. He has to be able to wear it to school.
All right.
So, and yes, he will not be homeschooled. He is totally going to public school.
That's a big thing.
There are some programs that I guess he could come here and be homeschooled. Not this one. There are some. And there's some where, he could go to private school. Mm-hmm. And I think this program, he could go to private school if he chose to pay for private school.
Okay, interesting. I thought that'd be something like we send all our kids to the Catholic school locally here.
He would still have to go to the public school.
Okay.
Unless he chooses to pay for it. And so I think there's going to be a bit of a learning curve, because some stuff that we do as a family, he's still actually supposed to pay for himself. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't want to I'm
gonna be honest, that's gonna be hard for me.
Yeah.
My personality is
Well, and I think a lot of it is going to be kind of moot, because we have family passes usually when we go.
Yeah.
And so if we're doing a family pass, he's our family, so like he would be included in our family pass.
And that's a big thing with the exchange program. I knew that even before we started because my sister actually did exchange program, and like hers actually she could not refer to them but anything like my brother, my mother, my father, my sister, to the point even now like she treats them as like.
Well, and we are his parents while he's here.
Yeah, so
We
I
are
knew that it was very
responsible
much.
for him.
And the lady is really funny. She's like, we're talking about activities, and like, if your children do it, he does it. If your children do, like,
If they help with the animals, he helps
helps
with
with
the
the
animals.
animals. I mean, like one of the things we probably really quickly after he comes here, we go to a trapping convention, which we've been going to for almost 20 years. I've been going to for almost 20 years.
You have, but
as a family, I'm 16 years easily.
and we might have to change where we go to some places because it's going to be a 2-vehicle trip for some of it.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, that is something. I don't know what his experience is working with dead animal fur. I mean, that's kind of.
and I think that's partly like his personality too, because there's some things that Asher is okay and comfortable doing. Vashman is okay and comfortable doing, and we're good with that. And there's some things that Swedish Compass is not comfortable doing, and so we don't force them to do things that they're totally uncomfortable with. Like we do encourage them to go past their comfort zone, but we would never force them to.
Well, yeah, clearly
to do that. And I don't think we would with Tom either. I think it would be a very much like, do you want to try this? Because if you don't, it's completely fine.
But you're still going.
But you know, you're going to the trapping convention, but we're not going to force him to like clean one of the rabbit hides or something like that, because we wouldn't force any of our kids to do that. If they're not comfortable or if they're just not ready, we wouldn't do that to them. So we wouldn't do it to him.
Which you wrote your letter to him.
I did.
I'm going to write one to him and kind of explain that this is, just so you know, we are
I did mention hunting and trapping.
Yeah, we're kind of a prepping family, so we do like to can and,
I didn't actually mention canning or our business.
I'll mention that we very much like to do it ourselves. Although this last week we had a project that came up with the house, and what was my phrase? If there's ever a time
Which was the easiest project I think we've done. Like that went the smoothest.
You don't know.
That went so smoothly.
Yeah. And the phrase was, you have two choices. You can either be handy or be rich. And this project, because it hit all of my, I hate to do it, I hate to deal with it, things. Now, 80 to 90% of the time, I love doing projects myself. I love home improvement. I love fixing stuff. But this one hit all of my, oh my God, I hate doing that buttons. Because it's one of those projects where you get one shot. You get one chance to get.
But it went fine.
It went okay. I'm still a little nervous. I did something wrong because it's acting up a little bit. But I think that's a normal acting up. Like that's just because of the age of the system and whatnot. That's going to happen. But yeah, I mean that's something I think he needs to know, that like we don't call in someone to fix our hot water heater. Youper Farmer jumps on and does some research online and pulls from my many years of misadventures to fix it. Which my sister, who went to Brazil, said that might be very odd for him to not like, because it's more their culture. You can find someone who can do a project for, what it would be to us equate to dollars, very, very inexpensive for just to have someone come do it, where, there are many projects we do around here where I'm pretty sure we lose money because I do it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But the prices are so high for some of that stuff that I doubt it. But, yeah, so anyway, that is our big, but we're not going to tell anybody in our family, really.
So because this one is not going to go out until we send it out, what's your plan for doing this? Because it's kind of a fun little plan to announce to the family that we are taking on homeschool.
So originally, Youper Farmer suggested that when we go in the fall to have our family photos done, we include our student in the photos, because he is part of our family this year, and so I think I love that idea, actually, that he'll be in our family photos. but we don't do that till end of September, October, sometimes even into November.
Into November, yep.
And then we don't include that photo into anything until our Christmas cards go out, which is usually before Thanksgiving. So I don't think the kids can keep the secret through September,
I don't
October,
think,
November.
And I don't think it's right to keep that secret that long.
No, because it's a big deal. So we don't want to keep it that long. So what we're thinking is we usually, or often I guess, have sent out a newsletter at the very beginning of the school year, end of August, beginning of September, with our basic, like, this is what's going on this year. Like, what are we studying? So you kind of go over our curriculum. The kids all get to say their piece about, what they're doing this year and how excited they are. And usually I incorporate a new picture of all of the kids together and then also of each individual child. Next to a short paragraph about them, like how they've changed this year, whatever. So, and I send that out early September.
Early September, yeah, before around about the start of school.
Yeah, around about the start of school. So this year we will include Tom in our photo of the kids, and I think I'm going to put his bio though at the end, like his
I think you should bury it in the middle somewhere.
In the middle.
Yeah.
So we'll see how many people actually notice that there's an extra child.
There's an extra child
in our photos. I think he'll stand out, only because
he's 6'3".
He's 6'2". Well,
6'2",
that
right.
too. Well, our kids aren't short.
Yeah, our kids
Our
aren't short.
oldest kids aren't short. But more, I think it'll stand out because we don't, our kids are mostly younger. So I think having a third teenager is going to stand out.
Gonna stand out.
But I'm curious to see, how, is he going to
And it may get people to finally read the letter to find out why is there a
oh my gosh, I
seventh
thought there was only
child
6 and wait, when did they get another teen? So, yeah, so that was kind of our compromise, I guess.
Well,
or
a compromise,
more
it's
developed
just,
plan.
more developed plan.
Because if we wait until the Christmas letter, it's going to be way.
Yeah, it's just
It's
not
not
right.
even fair. So we're going to send that out in September probably. So this probably won't get posted until that letter is
Probably
gone.
Congruent.
Yeah, I wouldn't post this because you have a couple of people who watch this.
Yeah, for some
So I'd
Not a
wait
ton.
until after this gets mailed, a 4 or 5 days after the letter goes out, before you post it. But yeah, so we're really excited to share it with our family in that way, and probably online. I can post pictures on Facebook after that point, but it's going to be hard to resist posting anything until then.
And we could send out a letter sooner. I mean, there's nothing that says we have to wait till school. We could just wait until a week or two after
Till he
he's
gets
here
here,
and just
yeah.
get some photos. And because these photos, we kind of, after talking to the lady who usually does our family photos, she's not having openings, so we might say they're going to have to be kind of our personal photos.
So she is taking an exchange student as well, and so she wants to devote those first few weeks, or the last few weeks in August and the first few weeks of September, to her student when they're home from school. So, which I can completely respect. So we're gonna push our family photos off. So it will be photos by us. We'll probably have to take nicer photos with our phones or something.
Well, you do have a very nice camera.
Yeah, I do. So we'll have to take nice photos that way, but
Oh, my light. Well, it's still on. Kinda. Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
so I think that's gonna be so fun to do that. And actually, we let the kids write their own little thing usually, so he'll be able to introduce himself.
And we'll let Tom
and his-
introduce himself and kind of explain as best we can. I mean, it's only 2 weeks in, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
well, I mean, I've read some of his. So he wrote a host letter, and I read that, and it's. Did you read it yet?
No, you wouldn't. You
I
you
handed
were
you-
so excited. You were
I
so
handed
excited.
you his file.
His file, but that wasn't the welcome letter.
It's in there.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you didn't flip through his file. It was in
Clearly.
there. So was the letter from his mom and everything else.
Yeah, I don't put much weight in that. I'm waiting to see his response email to you to see.
Yeah, but well, all right, true, but no, you can tell when something goes through the translation program of Google or whatnot. So,
True, we can also tell when someone spends a month versus a day response.
well, all right, true.
Maybe the English teacher maybe sort of kind of gave him a little. Oh, there the light went. Yeah, it did die.
A little
Okay.
assistant.
Little assistance, little how you going there? So.
Well, regardless. So yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes though. I'm sure half of our family will think we're absolutely insane.
If only half. That'd be impressive.
Well, I know your sister that went to Brazil. Thought it was-
She is. That's the only person who knows. My sister went to Brazil. We kind of contacted her to look for landmines and look for stuff we should know, stuff what to expect because.
Well, I've been a host student.
You've been a host student, but just each country will be significantly different. I mean, even the lady who is helping us, the coordinator, stated there are some countries we might have more of an issue with if they were to show up, especially with the family. They're supposed to sever all ties. They're discouraged from contacting their family for like a month or something, or 2 months, or
they're not supposed to have regular contact with their families.
Yeah.
Which does give them a better chance of adapting to a new family and for them to stop them from feeling some of the homesickness from the constant I talked to my mom yesterday, I talked to my mom today, I talked to my mom. So the idea is they really shouldn't have constant access to even emailing family.
Which at first I thought was wonky, but then after I sat down and thought about it for a minute,
that makes sense.
Complete sense.
Yeah, and after talking to your sister, I was like, it makes even more sense now.
Which my sister doesn't watch these videos, but if she does, thank you for that. That was a lot of really good. She did put my mind at ease. I got a lot of questions answered. Although I have to admit, some of the questions I got answered were contradicted by the coordinator. We'll see how that pans out. I don't want to get too much into that detail for what my questions were. So we'll see.
Well, and hers going there might be an entirely different experience than him coming here.
So
expectations
she went
in both
there
cultures would be different.
30 plus years ago.
Oh, probably more than that.
Yeah, 30,
probably
almost 35.
40. Yeah.
At least 30 years ago. Yeah, probably closer to 35 years ago.
She's 50 now, isn't she?
Shh, don't give her age. She's going to track me down and cut my Achilles.
As long as it's yours, no, mine.
Right. So, I mean, I suppose women can tell the women's ages, men can't even guess at that crap. So yeah, it will definitely be cultures change, almost sometimes every year, especially in the last few years we've had. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what actually transpires and what my sister's advice, what of it is spot on and what of it is, that's changed.
Right. Well, and I mean, all cities are different, and from what I remember when I talked to her, this is not one of the cities that she had gone to. So, I mean, he might be in a more rural or whatever area.
Probably should look that one up just to see, because
I
have this vision that he's from an urban area or even a city area, but it might be he's from a more...
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look that up. I don't know much about Brazil. I did learn that they have a specific mountain, and we also have a like mountain named the same thing here.
You can name that. That's fine.
Sugarloaf.
Sugarloaf.
So I kind of want to take the trip to go up Sugarloaf because I think that'd just be fun. And I'm sure their Sugarloaf
is a mountain. Yeah, theirs is a
compared to
mountain. Ours
ours.
is a freaking staircase now.
So I think it'd be a fun.
Yeah.
Even how ironic though that you have one the same name in your country.
Well, and you might want to check because I believe we have a sister city to Brazil.
I don't know. I'd have to look, but that's research for the next. I mean, barring new travel information, we've got a little bit of time.
Well, and I want to really. I mean, I'm at a crux. Like, how much research do I want to pre-do versus how much do I want to just have the authentic?
I was told, and it was highly encouraged, that I was sent some specific websites by the coordinator of here's some really good kids websites or resources for your kids to learn a little bit about Brazil. Obviously, they're not going to get a huge picture. Even if they were to study it for a month, they're not going to have
Well, because
there's still going to be a lot of mystery.
It's the same thing. He can study U.S. culture, but I mean, especially our flavor of U.S. culture is going to be completely different. We're told that he will never warm. He will never be warm. Come after probably actually in September.
Probably come September, October.
Come September, October, he will never be warm. He will be chronically cold. So, just so you know, Tom, you're getting some hot hands and hot feet in your little gift bag. That's just.
I do think I need to make a little like welcome basket
Yeah.
when he gets here, besides his birthday gift, because the welcome basket should just be
Yeah,
there.
just.
Like soaps or something. Just some, I don't know.
Yeah, you got to work on that.
Definitely a Saikley's.
Yeah, you're all about that safely.
Oh my gosh, the kids said that, and I'm like, ooh, that's a good point, because you only really see that here.
Mm-hmm.
Very regional, very.
Yep.
So,
We're doing burgers the night he comes here, just so you know.
really, not pizza?
Do pizza, I guess. I thought burgers, but because that's kind of American.
I don't know.
American.
Let's see what night it is.
That's true.
I mean,
Burgers will be in short. I might wait a week or two before we pimp out the pasties, but that is a.
well, I mean, we have the official, like, he's coming, so I guess when the kids get home, they'll make his welcome sign and
Right,
stuff.
like his welcome sign, and we may track down some venison summer sausage too. That'd be another good one.
Or go hunting in November and get a deer.
Get a deer in November, which he can be there, but he can't shoot apparently unless we maybe go October shoot with a bow.
I was gonna say, well, I can go in October.
You
and
can
shoot
go in
with my
September
gun,
and shoot
so.
with a gun. That's just weird. Story for another video, apparently. But
That's gonna be confusing to go all through the different regulations.
won't it just
So.
contact the DNR? It's my favorite people to talk to in the state of
Right,
Michigan.
that's gonna be hard. Like he can be present though. Like there's no reason why he shouldn't be.
Yeah, he can
so.
be there. That's not an issue. It's just whether or not he can harvest. So yeah, we're still waiting on.
I mean, that's not a big deal because we can all harvest here, so he could just like follow along, like not officially harvest himself.
Yeah.
But usually they are pretty okay with
We'll find out.
juvenile, like student harvesters,
harvesting,
mentoring students. So we'll see.
Yep, we will. But anyway, we're getting. Oh, they're gonna give me a red. Just so you know, you've only got minutes left to record, so we probably should cut this one. We're almost an hour in.
Sounds good.
Any concluders or final thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm excited to see how it goes.
it'll be
I'm
interesting.
excited for.
Just so you know, Tom, I've warmed up a lot better to this. I'm
You know, it's funny because when we went to the park the day after we mentioned it, you were like telling the kids all the fun stuff we could do and what we need to do. And so I thought you were like all set. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like he's more into this than me.
Nope. That was me trying to get myself amped up for this. Like,
Yeah, you sounded like you were totally more into it than I was even. And I'm like, holy cow, okay.
yeah. Yep. All right, folks. I think we're gonna cut this one here. I'm gonna finish my cigar, maybe pour myself another drink, and continue some off camera, some after camera talk with my wifey about this because it's kind of fun to talk about. But I think we've shared enough for tonight.
Yeah, I think so. And I want to stop getting eaten.
Are you getting bit? I'm not getting
Yeah,
bit yet.
I itch everywhere now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe out there. Hope you're having a good one, and we'll see you on the next one.